English Listen Over.
Understanding ICE, between national security and social impact. The U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, has long been at the center of heated national debate, facing intense scrutiny from policymakers, civil rights advocates, and the general public. Created in the aftermath of the September 11th attacks, ICE was designed to reinforce national security by regulating immigration enforcement and dismantling transnational criminal networks. However, the agency's expanding authority and controversial tactics have generated profound ethical, legal, and social concerns. Given its impact on millions of immigrants, both documented and undocumented, ICE remains one of the most polarizing institutions in contemporary American society. Supporters maintain that ICE is indispensable in safeguarding national security. They argue that the agency's investigative units play a pivotal role in combating human trafficking, drug smuggling, and financial crimes linked to international syndicates. According to them, without ICE's intelligence-driven operations, criminal organizations would exploit legal loopholes, jeopardizing the safety of U.S. citizens. Moreover, proponents emphasize that immigration laws hold little meaning unless they are enforced, and ICE's presence serves as a deterrent to unlawful entry and visa overstays. From this perspective, the agency is not inherently punitive, but rather a necessary instrument for upholding the rule of law. Nevertheless, critics contend that ICE's enforcement strategies often exceed reasonable limits and produce severe humanitarian ramifications. The agency has been accused of executing indiscriminate raids, detaining individuals with minor or non-criminal violations, and implementing policies that separate families, including parents from their U.S.-born children. Such measures, critics argue, reflect draconian practices that undermine constitutional safeguards and erode trust within immigrant communities. Empirical evidence suggests that fear of detention discourages immigrants from reporting crimes or cooperating with local law enforcement, thereby compromising public safety rather than enhancing it. Furthermore, ICE's heavy reliance on private detention centers has raised questions about accountability and human rights. The government argues that outsourcing to private companies reduces costs and allows detention capacity to expand more quickly than constructing new federal facilities. Because the number of detainees fluctuates, private centers are also considered more flexible in responding to sudden surges. Numerous reports document inadequate medical care, overcrowded facilities, and prolonged confinement without timely legal assistance. These systemic issues have fueled arguments that ICE's discretionary power lacks sufficient oversight, making abuses more likely. Some policymakers have even advocated for dissolving ICE, either by restructuring its divisions or transferring its responsibilities to other federal agencies more equipped to balance enforcement with humanitarian considerations. In conclusion, the debate surrounding ICE highlights a broader tension within U.S. immigration policy, the balance between national security and human dignity. While the agency's security functions cannot be dismissed, its operational methods demand substantial reform. Enhancing transparency, establishing independent oversight mechanisms, and prioritizing cases that involve genuine threats could help restore public trust. Ultimately, the United States must strive for an immigration system that is firm yet fair and that upholds both the rule of law and the fundamental values on which the nation was built.
Scrutiny, 厳しい調査、監視. The agency's actions have come under increasing scrutiny from the public. Advocates, 支持者、擁護者. Many advocates argue that immigration policies should prioritize human rights. Dismantle, 解体する、分解する. Some critics call for the government to dismantle outdated immigration enforcement systems. Undocumented immigrant, 不法滞在者、書類のない移民. The new policy aims to protect the rights of every undocumented immigrant living in the country. Polarize, 分裂させる、二極化させる. The issue of border control tends to polarize public opinion. Indispensable, 不可欠な. Skilled labor is indispensable to the nation's economic growth. Safeguard, 守る、保護する. The policy is designed to safeguard national security. Human trafficking, 人身取引. ICE conducts operations to combat human trafficking across state lines. Drug smuggling, 麻薬密輸. Authorities increased surveillance to stop drug smuggling at major border crossings. Loophole, 法の抜け穴. Criminal organizations often exploit legal loopholes to avoid prosecution. Jeopardize, 危険にさらす、危うくする. Cutting essential services would jeopardize the safety of vulnerable communities. Deterrent, 抑止力、阻止するもの. Strict penalties can act as a deterrent to illegal activities. Ramifications, 悪い結果、影響. The new immigration policy may have serious social ramifications. Implement, 実行する、施行する. The government plans to implement new regulations next year. Draconian, 非常に厳しい、過酷な. Many critics argue that the new enforcement measures are draconian and unnecessary. Empirical evidence, 実証的証拠、経験に基づく証拠. Empirical evidence shows that community trust declines when raids increase. Detention, 拘留、収容. The report highlights poor conditions in immigration detention facilities. Accountability, 説明責任. Advocates demand greater accountability from private detention center operators. Discretionary, 裁量の、任意の. Officers have discretionary power to decide whom to detain or release.